When was the last time you read a great science fiction novel? For me, just the other day, Odyssey to Trappist-1. Let me tell you about it. Hi there, and welcome to Fantasy for the Ages, the show where a father and son talk about fantasy, science fiction, and other nerdy things we enjoy. I have a spoiler light book review for you today on something I read just recently that I definitely recommend to you. So I hope you enjoy this. I trust you will. Go ahead and hit that like button if I turn out to be right. And if you haven't subscribed yet, we hope you will. So, the novel I'm here to talk about today is Odyssey to Trappist-1 by Francesco Gozzo. Gozzo, not sure how to pronounce the name. This was a really tight, well written, gripping science fiction novel. Imagine yourself facing the situation where the entire fate of the human race rests on you and a small group of people leaving on a mission, and things go wrong right at the start. And you have to figure out what to do, or the entire plan to save humanity may collapse. That's the premise upon which this story is written. Let me just give you a little bit more illustration about that. This is set in the future of our planet, where we have not made the changes that scientists recommend at this time. And basically, the world is falling apart. It cannot support the number of people who live upon it, and we've got to find another place for humanity. So NASA gets busy, finds a planet they think will be habitable, but it'll probably have some work that needs to be done. So they send a crew of the best and brightest ready to go out and start terraforming it. However, it's going to take 1,600 years to get there. Yeah, 1,600 years. So, they planned this for the best. Nobody can live that long. We're going to use cryostasis tubes and send the people out there, and they'll wake up just before they arrive. We have the technology to get them there, and we're just going to cross our fingers that everything's going to work out. Well, about 50 years into the mission, they get hit by a stray meteor. Half the people who are frozen wake up due to a malfunction on the ship. Half of that half die because of the damage to the ship. The other half manage to put things back together well enough that the ship will still be space-worthy, and they will continue on. And then they try to get back into the cryotubes and find out that they can't fix. There's no way for them to get back into cryosleep. Now what? Half the people are still there in stasis, but they need more than just them. These 50 people have absolutely necessary knowledge and skills, not to mention they're part of the gene pool that's going to be important, because Earth's plan is they're going to send another ship in 50 years. And then 50 years after that. And then 50 years after that. So this is the first ship that needs to go do the initial 50 years of work to be ready for the next group of humans that will arrive. It's absolutely essential they don't drop the ball. Literally, the human race is depending on it. Our story picks up about 35 years before the end of the voyage. And we see what those 50 initial colonists stuck in a horrific situation decide to do, and how they've managed to sustain a culture on this ship for, over 1,500 years, while safeguarding the others who have remained asleep all this time. This was not an easy thing to do. And the book certainly deals with some of the tough choices, the themes involved when the stakes are so high that perhaps any choice that needs to be made to sustain the mission becomes justifiable. And of course, they do work in some real science in here. So there are some really rough, ugly things that have happened on the ship over 1,500 years, as it has sustained a population well beyond its original capacity, and there are ramifications. These people are not in a good way, but they're almost there. And can they make it? And that's what we get to see. The last days of this voyage, and how does it end? And I got to tell you, the ending was fantastic. I found this a really delightful story. The author uses a story device where it's really focusing on the captain's point of view, the final captain of this voyage. And some of it is action that takes place through the captain's perspective, and others is his journal, where he's decided to record these events for the future of their new planet, and so people can understand what they went through and what it took and the sacrifices that were made. And just back and forth between journal and chapter and journal and chapter. It was actually a really smart writing device, and I enjoyed it thoroughly. This is not a very long novel. It's practically a novella. I could have done with a longer novel, to be honest. But as it was, the pacing was so slick and sweet, and I just flew through this book. And when I was done, I was satisfied. Really good. 2 thumbs up. Strong recommend for Odyssey to Trappist-1. Check it out. Now, if you have already checked it out, I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. That's what the comment box is for. Put your thoughts down there. And if you check it out later, come back and let me know. I also would point you now to the show notes, where you can let Zach and I know how you're doing with this book and other books through our social media. You can find us there. There's an invitation to our Discord server, and we even have email there for you. I want to give a shout out here specifically to our sponsor as well. So if you haven't tried it yet, Your Paper Quest is now a sponsor for Fantasy for the Ages. It's a book of the month club format where they will send you 2 books every month. They're all from self-published authors, a great way to add some new books to your TBR, perhaps by authors you've never heard of, but they only send you good books. I've experienced that for myself now. If you want to try it, there's a promo code for our viewers. Just put Fantasy20 in the promo box on their website. You can find all the information on how to access Your Paper Quest down in the show notes. Okay, that's where I'll leave you then. Thanks for watching, everyone. We'll talk to you next time.